Welcome, Vault Dwellers and Wastelanders alike, to a little bit of a different video than I usually do. Pretty much everything on here is usually a Let's Play video or a settlement build video, which is why I say welcome to all my Wastelanders and Settlers, because pretty much most of what I do is surrounded by Fallout. But today I wanted to talk to you all about Starfield. So I've been playing a lot of Starfield since it released. I got it on the early release where, I don't know, like a couple of days beforehand that they were actually giving it out to the public. I was able to get my hands on it, and I have to say I do like the game. The reason why I'm making this video is because I see a lot of people asking a lot of questions. You know, is the game any good? Is it worthwhile? Should I play it? Yada, yada, yada. And I'm basically going to say yes. I've been having a lot of fun. The story is really, really good. Does it have shortcomings? Oh, absolutely. It's a Bethesda game, so yes, of course, there are a million bugs. And there are a whole bunch of stupid little things that come about that just bother you or drive you crazy. So, be prepared for that. I mean, it's a Bethesda game. What do you expect? I came across a video, oh god, like a week ago, of someone who sounded like a little 12-year-old kid who was complaining about the game. He wasn't excited about it, didn't have any high hopes for it, went out and bought it anyway, and disliked it. And all I could think is, what were you thinking? What did you expect? You already knew you weren't going to like it, so why would you buy it? And why would you waste your time and your money? So, yeah, if you have a feeling you're not going to like it, then just simply don't buy the game. Shortcomings, yes, there are plenty. I tried my hardest not to play this game without modifying it, and I did so all the way up into about level 10, and I couldn't take it anymore because there are just so many stupid little things that Bethesda does that I couldn't stand. Like, if you're looking at the screen right here, my little bit of action and playthrough, there is a person sitting outside the ship. She's not, spacewalking or anything. She's actually supposed to be inside with me, and that's just a glitch. And I didn't even notice it until I started messing around and saw somebody floating around in space. So you're gonna see things like that. It is a Bethesda game. It's what you're gonna get. One of the biggest issues people are having is that the game is not very well optimized. That's just the way Bethesda does things, and a lot of people are having trouble with getting this game to run smoothly in that very good FPS. Can it be done? Yeah. Do you have to have the best system in the world to do it? No. I'm on an 11th gen Core i5 locked processor, 32 gigs of RAM, and an RTX 3060, and I'm running this on Ultra at 1080p on a 160 Hz monitor. Have I had to do a few little tweaks to make it run nice and smooth? Yeah, once I finally gave in and started doing some modding, I went for the DLSS mod, and I took away the annoying color filters that Bethesda put everywhere. Like, there's not a single place you can go that didn't have a color filter, and it just kind of ruined the game for me, ruined the whole experience. So that was one of the first things I did, is I started getting rid of things like that before I even touched anything like the DLSS, and my game was running pretty much fine. I didn't really have any problems, any stutters, and I had no complaints. Once I finally gave in and started doing some modding, I went from, like, say, maybe 40 or 50 frames per second in a city all the way up to maybe 60 to 70 frames per second. So it can be done. And so what you're seeing in front of you right now is me with all the filters removed. I took away the annoying film grain that they put as a default on the game at like 100%, and it just looked absolutely awful. I thought it was my settings or my computer was having some sort of issue that gave it this weird, ugly graininess, or Bethesda just, as usual, has no idea what they're doing and had done something like that, but then I found the setting to get rid of it. And so one of the main points that I want to touch on is a lot of people are asking a lot of questions about when they beat the main quest, and there's an option, and I don't want to spoil anything, but you can either kind of redo the game, keeping all of your stats, or you can do what's called a New Game Plus, and that's what you'll see. A lot of people are referring to it as NG and NG Plus. NG Plus is basically kind of like in the Fallout games, when you beat the main quest, you can just continue on and do whatever you want. And the main quest does kind of reappear in an altered state, and people keep asking, what do I do? What do I do? And the simple answer is just figure it out. This isn't rocket surgery. You shouldn't be asking everybody how you should be playing your game. It's your game. If you want to go one path and see if you like it, then create a hard save and give it a try. If you end up not liking it, you can go back to that save and you can change your path and give that a try. It's just been really bugging me that a lot of people keep asking over and over again on all the Facebork pages, you know, what do I do? What do I do? And it's just like, you don't. Just go play, have fun, experience things, and you know, that's the whole point of a game, is to figure things out. That's why we have puzzles. That's why we have games, to entertain ourselves, to challenge ourselves, and everybody seems to have kind of lost sight of that. And another thing I want to talk about as well in this video is people complaining about how the game looks. I mean, what you're seeing on your TV or screen right now, I mean, to me it looks pretty darn good. I mean, Bethesda's never been about having the absolute best graphics of any game. They want to tell a story and get you to engage and have fun. Is there shortcomings with the graphics? Oh, absolutely. I mean, but in honesty, like, I think it's a beautiful game. I was actually quite surprised at how nice everything looked. I mean, right off the bat, with the character creation, I was disappointed. I saw that and I said, oh no, they didn't really do anything to get any better than, like, say, Fallout 4 in the last 30 years that they had to develop this game. But once I actually jumped into it and started seeing some of the worlds and what they'd done with it, I was blown away. One of the first things I did was I traveled to our actual solar system. I visited Earth, Mars, and all the planets, and saw that they had actually taken real-life textures from these planets and used them for the surfaces, and they look great. Do they look kind of cartoony? Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a video game. You're never really going to get anything absolutely like 100% lifelike. That's what the modders are for, and give it some time and that kind of stuff will appear. So on the whole, though, like, the game is great. I've been having a lot of fun. I've been fairly addicted to it. I'm loving going to different places and exploring and seeing the different terrains and whatnot. So yes, it is a fairly decent, good-looking game, as you're seeing. Like, there's a lot of stuff to be seen while you're in space, you know, hopping from planet to planet, or jumping onto the surfaces of the planet to see how they differ. Some of them are full of vegetation, some of them are just barren rocks, and others are like ice planets. You know, you get a little bit of variety, and I absolutely love that. I love the fact that, you know, no two planets are exactly alike. I mean, are some of them close? Of course. That's just so that they don't have to eat up a ton of resources. So does this game have bugs? As I've mentioned, yes, there are many. The path that Bethesda had chosen for certain things as well is just annoying. So yes, you're going to have the bugs, like people floating around outside your spaceship, glitching through walls, the usual stuff that you see with any Bethesda game. As for certain choices on things they made, like the dialogue, like, yes, they have some good, talented actors for the dialogue. They didn't spare any expense on that, so yes, you're going to get a good experience without the dialogue being too flat. However, there is a lot of it, and your companions never seem to shut up. And they constantly try to engage with you, in some cases because they're trying to do the whole romance thing or companionship type thing, and they want to tell you their story so that you can reassure them how great they are. And when that kicks in, they are relentless. It just pops up over and over and over again. Now, when I say that they get repetitive with their dialogue, like, I mean, like, they just are repetitive and relentless. When they want to engage with you to tell you their life story or to try to romance you or whatever, super relentless. They will, wherever you are walking or running, they'll be coming right after you saying, hey, when you get a chance, can we talk? I got something I got to say to you. And with older games, I think they would give you a little space and they wouldn't be bugging you about it every 5 seconds. But with this game, it's you know, 5 seconds later you're still running and they're saying, hey, I know we're busy, I know we're getting shot at, but when you get a chance I really need to talk to you. And it just keeps happening over and over again, and it gets to be quite annoying. I found myself basically skipping through most of the dialogue. That's why I have the dialogue up on the screen so that I can read it much faster than they can say it, so I can get the gist of the story and move it along. So that's going to be one thing that I have seen that is going to bug you, because it's bugged a lot of people, especially myself. So when I mentioned modding and talking about things like the little things that bug me that I think Bethesda just did absolutely wrong, I want to talk about your level up points and the skill tree, I guess, that basically comes along with it. Every time you do level up in this game, you get 1 point that you're allowed to spend on any character trait that you want to increase, like let's say pistols or shotguns or medicine. But once you pick one to start continuing on to level that up, just to get 10% more damage out of something, you have to complete a whole checklist of things that you have to do in order to be able to do that. For example, for pistols, if you want to get 10% more damage and go from level 1 to level 2, you have to shoot 50 people with a pistol in order to just be able to level that up when you have your skill point, instead of just being able to spend it however you want it and get that 10% more. And in the beginning it's not too bad, but then it starts to get really, really bad when you're dealing with something where you have to blow up 1,000 spaceships or hyper jump 100 times while in battle just in order to get your next rank of captain. So once I finally gave in to start modding, that was one of the first things that I did, was get rid of that, so that once I get my level up and get my skill point, I can just automatically boom, pop it in there, and I'm done. And also, speaking about little things that Bethesda did that kind of irked me once I learned about this one, was they do stupid things like when you're in combat and you're fighting against a whole bunch of people and you have a companion with you, if you aren't responsible for a certain percentage of that enemy's damage and your companion ends up killing them, you don't get any experience points for that. And that to me is just insane. Why would you do that? I mean, a kill is a kill, and I understand, yeah, you didn't necessarily give the final blow, but you're in battle and they're basically robbing experience points from you, and that causes you to have to grind even more. So once again, once I started going into modding, that was one of the first things I did, was I got rid of that as well. It was just, it's unbelievable that they would do something like that. So it's the type of thing that makes your gameplay 10 times longer for no reason. Let me just go from planet to planet, constantly shooting just to make sure that I get more kills, or now I have to ditch my companion because they're stealing my experience points. Little things like that just should not exist in a game like this. So in conclusion, is this game fun? Absolutely. I've been having a blast playing it. I haven't had any major game-breaking glitches that have just destroyed it or kept me from moving on, and the story has been good. Is there a little grinding to do? Yeah. Does it sort of get a little repetitive? Pretty much. I mean, what game doesn't? And especially when you're trying to level yourself up, yeah, you're going to have to do a little grinding, and it's going to kind of get to be the same, but they throw a lot of extra stuff in there for you to help break up the monotony, like flying the spaceship right now. You do have spaceship battles versus just running around on the ground shooting people over and over again. And I love the fact that you can build and modify the spaceships. I wasn't really expecting that until I started playing and learned that I could do that, and I could pretty much build one to my own design from scratch. And when you start building and adding livable spaces, the inside of your ship changes along with it to match it. You'll have new beds that show up, like new science labs and whatnot, and doorways and windows, etc. And I love the fact that they were able to do stuff like that. And then, like this, what you're seeing on the screen, how you can look in the cockpit, you can see me as a pilot and my little helper guy right there in the back. They didn't have to do that. A lot of companies would have just cut corners where they made the window opaque so that you couldn't see in it, so that you didn't have to worry about trying to render any of the interior when you're flying around, in case you ever decided to look into your spaceship like that. And that just, small things like that just totally blew my mind and made me fall in love with it. Is it the greatest game ever made? Absolutely not. Is it fun? Oh yeah, I've been having a blast, as I said. It's all the neat little things that I've discovered, like the real-life textures for our own solar system that they put in there. The way they were able to break up the gameplay between just, not being a first-person shooter, but also the fact that you can fly spaceships, get into fights and with your ship and whatnot, and all kinds of stuff. And then, like as you see here, just for whatever, I decided to start shooting the asteroids one day and discovered that you can break them up and harvest some of the building materials that you might need, like iron and whatnot. And, really, really cool. They pretty much expected them to just leave it as, oh, you can't ever destroy them, you just have to fly around them and not bump into them or get destroyed, whatever. But no, there's another little depth of realism there. So yeah, I give it 1 3/4 thumbs up, because there were some things that did kind of bug me, and I know it seemed like I kind of complained a lot, but no, it's really just kind of informing you like what to expect. It's not perfect, it's never gonna be perfect, even with modders' helps, etc. But is it a fun game? Absolutely. Why are people ripping it apart for things other than the game maybe not being perfectly optimized or whatever? I have no idea. I've had a lot of fun playing it. If you're a fan of any of the Fallout games, you're probably going to really like this as well. It definitely has that classic Bethesda feel to it, and seeing little cinematics like this every once in a while is just a lot of fun to watch. It helps really pull you in, and before you know it, you've been sitting at the screen for 12 hours playing a game. So again, I don't know why some people are giving it a hard time, but I like it. I've had some fun. I wasn't expecting to like it and was actually surprised. So hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you took something away from it and learned something. And yeah, I got more content coming up. Mostly Fallout stuff, but I do plan to at some point do a playthrough of this and other games. But if you want to get in touch with me, you can reach me on Facebork. The link is in the description, or you can just leave a comment. I do read and respond to pretty much all of them. And again, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, don't get irradiated.